Okay, the purpose of this video is to give a quick demonstration of a pivot table. So we have some data here, actually 300 data points, which represent ratings of meals at 300 restaurants where we have a quality rating, good, very good, or excellent, and the price of the meal. So we'd like to do a cross-tabulation using two of these variables to learn more about the information. So the first step is to click Insert. We're going to highlight all of the data, including the headings. On the Insert ribbon, we're going to click on Pivot Table. This highlights all the data. We're going to put this in a new worksheet. You could also put the pivot table right here in the existing worksheet. I'm going to demonstrate the new worksheet option. Click OK. This gives you the pivot table fields in the far right, and it shows you where the pivot table will be located. What I want to show is the meal prices as my row heading and the quality ratings as my column headings. We could reverse those if we wanted to. It would still give us the same information, the same analysis. I'm going to use the quality rating in the values field. And this gives us a count of the number of ratings in each rating category, along with each individual price point. Now, obviously, I don't need all these price points. I want to group these. Put the cursor on any one of the cells containing a price, right-click, select Group, and the software assumes a grouping you might want to use. We're going to start at 10 and go to 48 in increments of 10. If we click OK, then we get these four groupings of our data. You might want more, you might want less. Let's use these for now. So this gives us the frequency of the ratings at each one of these four price classes. So between a meal price of $10 to $19, we had 2 excellents, 42 goods, 34 very goods, for a grand total of 78 meals in that price class. Same as these. So what I would typically recommend at this point, and that's it in terms of how you do a pivot table. Now, what I'd recommend at this point is that you copy and paste this data outside of this particular pivot table. Highlight the entire table, right-click, copy. Let's paste it down below, the values. The other thing we might want to do with this pivot table is we might want to know the percentages of each one of these frequency values relative to the grand total. In other words, 42 represents what percentage of the total number of restaurants. This might be a value that management would be interested in. So if we left click within the table anywhere, we can come to the values, click on the count of quality, click on value field settings. One of the options is show values as. Right now we're not doing any calculation at all. Click on the drop down menu. If we select the percent of grand total, it will calculate, click OK, it will calculate the percent that each one of these frequency values is of the grand total. For instance, you take a look at this 42, and we see that if we take this value, 42, divided by the value in the grand total, we get 0.14, or 14%, which is what we see here now in this field. So that's a quick example of doing a pivot table. A lot of other options you can use, but this is the fundamental operation you want to follow to create a pivot table.